Hello. Tonight I'm doing a speaking event. I'm going to the All Still showroom, and they're a furniture dealer, and I'm going to be talking about building a personal brand. I'm speaking to college students and entry-level interior designers and architectural designers. I'm really excited to be back in an industry where I started out as an architectural designer and an environmental graphic designer. I'm really excited to just share my career journey. I'm looking forward to kind of just helping motivate students and build their personal brand. So maybe I figured in a couple days, however this goes, I could talk to you guys more about what I'm speaking, what I kind of am envisioning. And honestly, I'm speaking to the choir here because as far as really promoting myself on the interwebs, I don't do a good job of that, and it's more of like being an introvert. So I feel like a lot of people can resonate with my story of just not wanting to be online, but how to promote yourself, I think, is really important. So I will take y'all along just to see the showroom and maybe just a sneak peek of the event. See ya. I'm back. It's the next day after the speaking event, and kind of just want to recap y'all on the evening and how it went, and even just share some self-reflections to y'all that I hope that y'all can get some insights out of too. So I had a speaking engagement on building your personal brand, and it was mainly addressed to the younger um, crowd of college students and junior designers. And also I noticed there was a bit of people who were like pivoting in their careers into the architecture interior design space. I came in as reflecting on my personal journey path that hasn't been as linear. I started my career in architecture, eventually pivoted to visual design, and so I was sharing how like brand is so important and how we really need to storytell, especially within getting a job in a new space. The sessions it was actually pretty intimate and cozy. It was like a couple groups at a time that would come up. And so it didn't feel like a large setting where I'm speaking to a whole bunch of people. And so I liked the setting where it was about like 10 to 20 people at a time that I was speaking to. So I felt I could actually interact with the group this way since it was a small group and get people really thinking about what is their personal statement. And we kind of brainstormed and worked through a couple of the designers. Actually, afterwards, talking to an individual, they were saying how their wife is a recruiter for a company, and they noticed that there's a lot of resumes coming out that look exactly the same. And I think that's Canva. I do think that with technology, AI, all these things happening, viral trends, we're starting to see like a lot of copies and lookalikes. So the importance of even just sharing how to develop and craft your own personal brand, I think here is really important because we need to be different. And although I can see how someone might say, like, actually, I just want to be normal. I don't want to stick out. Like, it seems like it's too much work. If everyone's creating the same resume, why would someone want to hire you? Like, why are you different than so many other people? And what makes you unique? And what makes me see value in you and how you can actually contribute to what we're trying to do? I think it's the story that is told and the emotion that's like sparked from it and how to create this memorable experience. And so I always like associate going into a Nike store, how you experience that space and how that space kind of drives you in a way where you are motivated to want to buy a pair of shoes. For me, it feels like it's really about crafting a story that resonates with others. And I think that a personal story is really powerful, and even just bringing in some of that main character energy. And so it's like, if you aren't the main character of your story, then or why would someone even relate or want to know more about who you are? Creating a personal story, bringing in some of a tease, like showing them just a little where it's like a hook, can also kind of create this like mysterious um, depiction where it's like, tell me more. Like, I want to know more about you. And again, I also think it's a bit of the memorability factor of within a personal story, we can all connect, especially when we relate to a struggle. And so if there is something that you can share that not necessarily always giving this sob story, but like showing that you overcame or achieved something or that you're working through something at the moment, I think helps people to relate in a way that resonates. And I think building that out, like as a 1 to 2 word statement of who you are, or even like a full sentence, I think is the pillar of starting, create, and craft your personal brand. What I noticed last night at the event, a lot of people were kind of really trying to figure out their identity. And I do think it's a bit of a self reflection on who you are and discovering yourself and your identity. One thing that I did notice was when people were sharing their portfolios to me, they had some really beautiful work within their portfolios, but it very much lacked storytelling and a description. And I think it's just a simple narrative could help, even providing a timeline of how you worked on something and if you worked on it with a team or not. And I think those are important because if you just show me a couple pictures, it all is very much confusing and it doesn't give me anything about you. So you now wasted like hours, months, all of that time that you worked on something that you were really passionate about. It doesn't really connect me, the audience member, trying to understand what you're doing because you didn't provide me any context to tell that story. And so I think it's even important there to show like, what is the problem that you were trying to address? Are you designing for a housing crisis? Are you trying to solve for climate change? Like, what is it that you're actually trying to do instead of just showing me a building that has a section drawing and a rendering with people on the side? That doesn't really tell anything to anyone or stick out versus all of the other designers out there. I think another thing that we can reflect on is that you can get inspired by people outside of what you do. And so I led people to a few different portfolio sites that were in product design and as brand designers. And I know that these were like architects and interior designers trying to show their work, but just trying to think like, what is everyone else doing to help spark some interest? But I also feel like it's not for me to give direction as to like, I think this looks ugly, or for me, it was more providing direction to the students on asking them questions and helping to seek for themselves solutions that would get them to where they needed to go. I do hope they were inspired. I also really, really like the showroom. I think All Steel showroom is very sleek and minimalist. I really appreciate that All Steel invited us in, and it kind of just made me think again how I very much miss the space of architectural and interior design. And I hope to do a bit more of those things. And I even reflect on like, I want my ceramics to be in spaces like that. I think that would be gorgeous and inspiring. To it feels a bit more of not just like creating ceramics pieces, but how the ceramics piece is a part of a space and how people might interact with the piece. And I want to get more in depth with how pottery and clay is a part of a building space. So yeah, that was just kind of last night's event, and thanks for watching again. Let me know what your thoughts are about like building a brand and building your personal brand. Do you have one? Have you thought about an elevator pitch? Like, what do you do to kind of create your personal brand across different social media channels? I know for me, I'm speaking to the choir. I could do more in building my personal brand, but I think if anything, it's inspiring and motivating to other people that like there's always room for me to grow and there's room for everyone else too. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I'll talk to you soon.